Hello guys, a bit of a different video, and I'm hoping this video will be longer. Well, it definitely will be, because I think this is the first video since the Halifax vlog that I will edit. But anyway, today's video I'm going to be ranking all 13 Beatles albums, because I'm pretty sure I've never said this on the video ever, even in like my last two previous channels. The Beatles are my favourite band of all time. I love Oasis, but I love the Beatles. Like they're just the first band I've listened to, and they've just stuck with me ever since. So, without further ado, oh yeah, disclaimer: this is my opinion. You can have your own opinion. You can leave your favorite albums in the comments if you're a Beatle fan like me. So, with all that said, let's get on with the video. I'll be ranking all Beatles albums from 1963 to 1970. I will be including Magical Mystery Tour and Yellow Submarine, as they both came with new releases. However, compilation albums will not be included, so that includes Red Album, Blue Album, Past Masters, and Number One Hits. That's basically it from me, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So, in my opinion, the worst Beatles album, no surprise, is Yellow Submarine. Just because it's like the last on this list doesn't mean it's a bad album. It's just I don't have the actual cover, but oh yeah, shout out to my dad who's basically bought all these CDs. So massive thank you to him for making this video possible. So I think yeah, Yellow Submarine, it's not bad. All it is basically a film soundtrack. Side one is the new songs plus Yellow Submarine, which was originally on Revolver, which we will come to later on. And I think All You Need Is Love is on there. But anyway, enough of those two. It's All Too Much. That's a really good song. Pretty underrated Beatles song, in my opinion. Only a Northern Song. Again, another George Harrison song. Very psychedelic, very... If you know psychedelia, yeah, you know what I'm on about. All Together Now. Probably the worst song on the album. Yeah, probably the worst song on the album, to be fair. And I know and probably the best song on the album, Hey Bulldog, or the best new song, I think. Yeah, the best song on the album. So yeah, that's basically all there is to say about Yellow Submarine. Oh yeah, also of course you've on the other side on the vinyl, you've got or second disc if you're using CD, you've got the soundtrack to the film composed by George Martin. The man was a genius, but I don't think there was any need to put those on there. And basically that's about it with the Yellow Submarine. Not the best album, not the worst. So next up, I have put with the Beatles. It's honestly, of course, it's like the Beatles' early days. Like this is their second album, but personally, I'm going to make this one quick because I realised I didn't really put this one in. I've got to talk about this one. But yeah, All My Loving, Please Mr. Postman, good songs, but a lot of covers, so it's not the best, to be honest. Right, so for this next one, I don't have it physically, but here's a picture of it, and it is Beatles for Sale. Personally, I think this album is so underrated. I've rarely listened to it though, but and I know I shouldn't really be saying much, but I have listened to a few songs. Of course, 8 Days a Week's on there. No Reply, which I think is probably the most underrated Beatles song, if not the most underrated Beatles song. Mr. Moonlight, I'm not too fond of. I Follow the Sun's on there, which I think is somewhat decent. Honestly, I've not got... This is the album I've got literally no knowledge on, and I think 8 Days a Week and No Reply really carry it, so I think that's basically all I can say about Beatles for Sale. My days, I don't know how many times I said Beatles for Sale in that one sentence. Right, so next album is Please Please Me. Don't know what place I put this. So anyway, I'll probably leave it in a corner or something. yeah, really good start from the band, who would, of course, go on to do such great things. Uh, I saw her standing there, really good opening track. Of course, their first ever single, Love Me Do, is on there. Another really good song. I think my favourite song on here is Misery. Of course, only 1 minute 47 seconds long. It's a really short song, but they chose quality over quantity. Of course, Twist and Shout, which, of course, is a cover, which is, I think, this album's problems. Is just, of course, early Beatles, there's going to be a lot of covers in there. But it's what you do with those covers, isn't it? And I think they did a really good job, even, like, with the covers. Yeah, it's like a similar issue though with the Beatles, and I need to sort this lighting out. That's all I really need to say about Please Please Me. A really good start to the Beatles' career, and they'd only just go onwards and upwards from that. So again, I don't have this album physically. I apologise, but A Hard Day's Night. I think it's a really good album, and of course, you can really tell like the quality of the Beatles are just getting better by the album. This is like the third album they made, I believe. And of course, this is like the peak of Beatlemania sort of thing. I remember seeing the film. It had a really good soundtrack. You have got the title track, Hard Day's Night, which of course has the iconic guitar riff at the start. You've got If I Fell, which again is a really good song. I'm Just Happy to Dance With You. And a whole load of other songs, which I'll probably make a list somewhere of them, which I really like. And it's really hard to just talk about the album when I just don't have it personally. Like the album's just giving me a bit of a script to go off, sort of thing. But yeah, next up, Hard Day's Night. So in eighth, and I think this is my first of a few controversial opinions, but next up we've got the White Album. And of course, this honestly could have been the best album of all time. And of course, this is a double album, so it's got 30 songs, which is of course a lot for like the 60s and that, and still quite a lot for modern day sort of music. Of course, you've got some such tunes like Back in the USSR, Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, Obladi Oblada. I don't get why that song gets a lot of hate, to be honest. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, one of the best songs of all time, I think. Happiness is a Warm Gun. My third favourite Beatles song. I will say my favourite Beatles song as we go down the list. Blackbird, Piggies, which again I don't think gets hate. It does not deserve hate. It gets. Julia, I Will. Birthday. I really like Birthday. Some people don't like it. Helter Skelter, probably the first heavy metal song in existence. Paul McCartney just woke up and said, "Sod it, I just want to make heavy metal." You got Savoy Truffle, which is just them talking about food. But of course, this does have its downsides. And Wild Honey Pie, I'm not a big fan of the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, to be honest. It's quite jarring to listen to. There are a lot of songs in there that are just really jarring. And of course, the Revolution 9, which you can go listen for yourself, because I don't really like talking about it. It's that bad of a song. I'd say it's the worst song in existence, and this lighting needs to sort itself out, or I will sort it out. I'll probably record in the daytime next time, but yeah, this had potential to be one of the best albums of all time. Of course, this is technically their second to last album, but this could have just been so much better, you know. I'm not saying it's a bad album or anything, it's just mid at best, you know. So yeah, that's basically all the White Album has to offer, really, but good album. So now we're in the mid to sort of good territory, or really good, because it's the Beatles we're talking about here. We've got Let It Be, the last ever album they made in 1970. Now, I'm going to put it out there, my favourite song of all time is Across the Universe. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, this has got a lot of really good songs. That is so small I can't read that, but of course you got two of us. Across the Universe, Let It Be, I Be Mine, The Long and Winding Road. Of course, Get Back, which they performed on the roof. I believe, yeah, they performed it on the roof of their last concert to say goodbye to the fans, and I think this is a really good way of saying goodbye to the fans. Of course, it does have Maggie May. Personally, this is just a preference. I like Dig It. I know it's only a 50-second sort of track, but I don't think it sounds too bad. I know John Lennon's just waffling random stuff, and Matt Busby, Dig It. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's better than the White Album and all the other albums we've talked over so far. So yeah, that's basically it for Let It Be. A good album, but of course the Beatles made better. Right, so 6, we've got Help. Of course they made the film Help with a few songs from the soundtrack, but anyway, a lot of really good songs in it, like the title track. You got The Night Before, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. There are a lot of really good songs in here, like Act Naturally. Ringo, the worst singer, but he wasn't really a bad singer, Ringo. I don't really think he sung a bad song. So I think it's just a myth saying he can't sing. But Act Naturally, really good song. Of course, Yesterday, and which I think is the most covered song of all time. I did sing it in college one time for an audition. Charlie will know about that from Job on Podcast. Ticket to Ride, of course, really good song. The only song that I really think puts it down here is Dizzy Miss Lizzy. You have Yesterday with that beautiful melody, and then you just hear, you make me dizzy, Miss Lizzy. It just doesn't seem right. But yeah, other than that, it's a real good album, Help, and yeah, that's basically it for Help. So, next up, I've got another controversial one. Some people might say this is the best album of all time, or even just the best Beatles album of all time, but or just the best Beatles album, not the best Beatles album of all time, because they folded. But yeah, Sgt. Pepper's at 5th. Some people might say I'm putting this too low or too high, whichever way you want to see the list. But I don't think it's good, but I don't think it's as good as people make it out to be. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good album, but I think a few songs on here are overrated. Personally, I don't really like She's Leaving Home. I like Getting in Better, Fixing a Hole. Good Morning is quite irritating, to be honest, but let's just disregard the negatives, right? But let's just get into the positives. So the title track and opening track, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, that's a really good song, which of course, I think this is the thing with this album, like each song just flows into the next song. And there's of course another album that I will be talking about that does that. Sorry. But yeah, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I do like Being for the Benefit of Mr. Guy, but yeah, but Within You Without You is my favourite song on the album. I've got a massive passion for Indian music, and of course, Within You Without You really gets that itch sort of thing. When I'm 64, people don't like it, some people like it, and I lean to more like it, more, and of course it is on the film Yellow Submarine. Lovely Rita, not too big of a fan of it. And then, of course, you got the reprise to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and, of course, one of the best songs of all time, A Day in the Life. Yeah, the closing, it's a really good album, but it does have its, down parts. But, when it's good, it's really good. And that's why I have it this high up and not, say, lower than Help or the White Album. But yeah, that's basically it for Sgt. Pepper's. And, of course, this started the whole Paul is Dead conspiracy. but I don't think this is my time and place to talk about it. Right, so next up, we got Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah, I know, come at me with your pitchforks, because I put this over Sergeant Pepper's, but I find this, like, to be better to listen to than Sergeant Pepper's, in my opinion, because I think, one, the tracks are better, you've got more quality tracks, and that's my opinion, to be honest, and two, it's just, there's less bad songs, which is technically what this list, or all lists, are based on. But yeah, I think the two last tracks, Baby You're a Rich Man and All You Need Is Love, are not the best songs, but they're alright. But yeah, songs you got on here, Magical Mystery Tour, Fool on the Hill. I don't think Flying or Blue Jay Way are bad songs. I think they're alright. Hello Goodbye, really good song. And then you got Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane. One of them is, of course, probably the most iconic psychedelia song of all time. And fun fact, Strawberry Fields Forever was going to be on Sgt. Pepper's, but yeah, and I think that would have made the album a lot better. Yeah, Penny Lane, again, a really good song. This lighting, again, a really good song, but yeah, I think Strawberry Fields Forever is better. And of course, I Am the Walrus, what a song. I Am the Walrus used to be my favourite Beatles song growing up, to be honest, because I just found the lyrics hilarious and I was a stupid kid, you know. But it's a really good song, and of course, it's a really good album as well. Right, now we are getting into the top three, and kicking off the top three, we got Rubber Soul. I've got a Rubber Soul t-shirt upstairs, which I got from Liverpool, which is, of course, where the Beatles are from. And what an album this is. This is, of course, the first album where, of course, they were under the influence of LSD, and that's where they just start getting really experimental. But yeah, songs like Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, which is, actually, no, never mind, not going to say that. You Won't See Me, Nowhere Man, which is a really good song, an amazing song. Think For Yourself, which is my favourite song on the album. The words, alright. Michelle, really good song, and the backstory is, I don't remember who it was, but someone was like faking to speak French. What Goes On, another really good Ringo Starr song. Girl, I've never really listened to it, but I know it's a really good song. Same with I'm Looking For You. In My Life is, of course, a standout for us, and it's probably one of the best Beatles songs. But I don't think the last three songs are the best. Like, I don't really like Run For Your Life because people say it's I'm not going to say the meaning but people assume it's about something really bad. And that's why I don't really like that song. But other than that, it's a really good album. Really good songs, and third on the list gives the bronze medal for Beatles album. So third place, Rubber Soul. So in second place, we have got Abbey Road. And fun fact, I have been to this exact location in real life. Yeah, it was a really good day in London, and it was really sunny and really nice, and I'm so glad I got to finally walk across this crossroad, zebra crossing. I'm British, so I should be using zebra crossing, but yeah. Anyway, about the album, we've got Come Together, which is probably one of the best opening tracks to any album ever. You got Something, which I believe Frank Sinatra said it is the best love song of all time, and it is probably the best George Harrison song. You got Maxwell Silverhammer, which ain't the best. I'd say it's the worst on side one. Oh Darling, again, another good song. Not as good as some others on this track. Octopus's Garden, which is Ringo's, which is basically like Ringo's best song. I think like everyone just decided to just say, sod it, we're going to make our best songs. It's like basically our last album. Yeah. I Want You, She's So Heavy, the 7-minute masterpiece, as I like to call it. Of course, Here Comes the Sun, which is really iconic. I apologize, there's a lot of songs there. Because, which is my personal favourite song on the album, not of all time, of course. Across the Universe is my favourite song of all time. You Never Give Me Your Money, which is a perfect way to end the first disc or side, whatever you're using to listen to this incredible album. And then side 2, of course, you've got the Abbey Road medley. And if you heard earlier on, I said there was another album where the songs just link into each other, and this is it. We've got Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, and Polythene Pam, which honestly aren't the best songs, but they're all right. Then you got She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, pretty underrated song, and I'm 99.9% sure this sort of inspired Blur to make Country House. Then of course you got the last 3 songs, which is like the final part, the main part of the medley, I think. You got Golden Slumbers, Carry That Way, and The End, which I believe I was watching the Glastonbury on telly and Paul McCartney was playing it, and it's really good. Honestly, my favourite song from those 3 is Carry That Way. I just love like the upbeat tune of it, and like it really just wraps up an incredible album. Of course, you've got Her Majesty, which is only 20 seconds, so we won't waste much time talking about it. But again, it's an incredible album, and of course, this is probably like a lot of people's first Beatles album. Pardon my grammar, it was awful. Yeah, this is, of course, second Abbey Road, really good album. And so, in number 1, my favourite Beatles album, and my favourite album of all time, probably, if you haven't worked it out already, if you're a Beatles fan, is Revolver. Just look at it, it's just incredible. Like, this was the first ever Beatles song I listened to was Tomorrow Never Knows. We'll get more about that in a second, but Taxman, incredible song. Eleanor Rigby, another, like, I don't think there is a bad song on this album. The only song that really lets it down is Yellow Submarine, I think, but even that is a good song. I'm Only Sleeping, really good song as well. Here, There and Everywhere, my second favourite Beatles song. My third is, I think I did say Happiness Is a Warm Gun is my third favourite Beatles song. My top 3 are Happiness Is a Warm Gun, Here, There and Everywhere, and Across the Universe. She Said, again, like another really good acid rock song. Good Day Sunshine, another good song. And Your Bird Can Sing, just incredible. For no one, they managed to turn a sad song, like give a sad song a happy melody. Like, it's just incredible how they do it. Like Dr. Robert, it's all right. I Want to Tell You, again, a really good song. Oh, it's coming off here. Yeah. I Want to Tell You, like, could just go on about this album for days, you know. Got to Get You Into My Life. The story behind that alone is just really good. Like, just makes it an incredible song. Basically, you'd think Got to Get You Into My Life, which I believe is part of the end credits for Minions. That is so random, I don't know why I said that. But yeah, and of course, probably the best closing track of all time, Tomorrow Never Knows. Well, either this or A Day in the Life. But honestly, it's just an incredible album. And of course, my favourite album of all time. And this is technically the first album I've listened to. And I have such memories with this song. And honestly, this is just masterpiece after masterpiece from start to finish. I know I've just been glazing over this song, but of course, like, I don't even think there really is a bad Beatles album. But yeah, that is technically it for this video and this list. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Hit like and comment your favourite Beatles album if you want to. I'm Not saying you have to. I'm not holding you at gunpoint. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, guys, and take care.